Hello everybody, this is Bobby again. I guess if you're watching this part of the video, that means you bought one of my kits, and I appreciate that, and I hope it makes you a fun dulcimer, a good project for you to do this winter or whenever it may be that you buy the kit. But first thing we're going to do is step one on the assembly steps, and that will be gluing the overlays and the sound hole reinforcements and stuff like that on. So to get to it, I'll turn the camera around and I'll talk to you later. I suggest the first thing you glue on to be your sound hole patches. And the reason being is, as you'll figure out when you build this kit, a lot of work that us dulcimer builders do, we watch glue dry more than anything. So the reason I say to do the sound hole patches though is once they're dry, you can go ahead and start cutting your sound holes while you're waiting for glue to dry on the other parts in the kit. So I suggest to do the sound holes first, and so I'll show you. I simply do that, and you can wear rubber gloves if you want. I never do, because I already go through enough gloves when I'm doing my finish on it. Every time seems like they run out in no time after I buy a new box of gloves just using them for finish. So I usually just keep me a rag or something handy and wipe the excess off on the rag. But just coat it real good. If you can see that, put you a good coat on it. Lay it right in that square I've drawn for you, and it'll curl up. This stuff is bad to curl up where it's so thin. Just cut you or tear you a piece of masking tape. You may have to fight with it a little bit to get it to lay down long enough to get your masking tape on it, but put your masking tape down on there. Make sure it's good and straight in the box, and then smooth it out. Then do your other one. This thin wood really soaks this glue up, so I mean, you don't want it running off, but make sure you get enough on it so it's completely covered real good. Make sure you don't have any empty spots, because chances are if you got an empty spot, that'll be right where your sound hole you'll be cutting at, and have a little void there. So once you do that, then what you're going to do is get a piece of that foam that I mentioned. This is a different piece, or get you a piece of bubble wrap. The reason being, like I mentioned in the first video, that helps put an even pressure on it. So, but use a piece of foam or whatever. I'm going to use a little bit of everything so I can continue this video without pausing it or having it in 2 or 3 parts. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this over here on a different table, and I'm going to, when I get it over there, I'm going to lay that foam on top of that, and then I'm going to set me a book right on top of that. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back again. So now we'll do one of the back center strips for the back. It's the same process. Put your glue down it, spread it out good and even, and you'll be able to tell when, as soon as that glue starts soaking in a little bit, these little thin strips will start curling on you. That's the reason it helps a whole lot to have the masking tape. Let me put it at this end. It'll be in the camera view. I can't. So you just do it sort of like how I did the sound hole. Just put you 2 or 3 pieces of tape on these center strips. See how I've got it taped down. Just took it to the, let me get it in there, took it to the line where I had the stop sign wrote and the arrow pointing, took it to there, taped that one down. Now I'm going to go over and I'll be right back. I'm going to go put a book on this one to glue it up. Now we'll do a side, or part of a side. So I'll have you some of these little strips. A little bit smaller to work with, but same process. Spread your glue on it, and what these are for is just to I make my sides really thin so I don't have to pre-bend them or put them in a heat form them with heat or whatever. And anytime you thin wood really thin, there's always a chance that it might split. So I guess you could say these are basically a split stopper to prevent the wood from splitting, just like I did that little piece, but that'll be okay. If you break a little piece of it, as long as it don't fall all apart, it'll still serve the purpose. But it is to keep these sides from, if you get a split started right here, chances are it'll only travel to the little reinforcement that we just glued on, and it'll stop there, and it won't split from one end to the other over time. You see a lot of the older vintage dulcimers that people's found, and they'll be split and stuff, but I don't know of any of mine that's ever split, but it's better to be safe than sorry. And so I'm going to use a little piece of foam on this one, and that'll be all this little section. When I come back with the next video, we will cut the sound hose, but hopefully this will give you enough of an idea of how to glue your patches and reinforcements on. But I'll show you the finished patches and everything, and what you need to do to them. There'll be a little bit of glue cleanup, maybe, depending, but I'll show you what to do when we come back. Before we actually cut the sound hose, I'll show you what we need to do on that. But I'm just going to lay my foam on there, and then I'm going to lay my big book right on top of that. So we'll do is another video tomorrow or later of cutting the sound hose out. See y'all later.